question is, where exactly are the Zetas now? Where are those 9 UFOs now? We forgot about that, people. We simply got lost in the story. Wow, that's an interesting interview, whatever. Bob Lazar is a cool guy, yeah, a rock star in UFO world, etc., etc. But wait a minute, people. Listen to what he's saying. ZETAS actually stayed at S4. Okay, they gave him a place to do some sort of experiments at S4. And then he goes on saying there was some kind of fight going on between the personnel at S4 and ZETAS, and eventually they left because 40 people plus the scientists got killed in that explosion. However, what I think that there's a lot there on Bob Lazar's website, okay, that needs to be decoded, okay, because Bob Lazar is a very clever guy. But he also is using a language. I strongly believe that there are messages on his website to be decoded. To me, 40 seems a big number, and I told you, it starts with 9 UFOs. First of all, 9 UFOs. Well, that's a lot, don't you think? And then he goes on saying, I go on saying, if all those 9 UFOs had 3 aliens inside, because there seem to be 3 chairs inside, do the math, were the 27 extraterrestrials. So the numbers are just growing, and then on the end it says it killed 40 people. So we go from 9, 27 extraterrestrials, and now 40 people died. Was that purposely injected by Bob Lazar on the end just to get rid of us, hunting for the Zeta Reticuli truth? Believe me, he's protecting them, okay? And that's what's going on, people, with S4 and Bob Lazar. He's just protecting the Zetas, nothing more. I believe that is the right way to do so, okay? No problem. However, we want to know too where those Zeta Reticulines and those 9 UFOs are. So now this video was purposely made in reverse to Area 51 raid. In reverse. What do I mean by that? Simply it means rather than going to Area 51, which is a brick wall, which is simply heavily guarded area. Now you don't want to F with US military in any shape or form, as you already know. Even though US public, like I talked about before, do possess serious weapons, but still US military is on top of the game here, and it's not advisable. Basically, there's nothing to do there at Area 51. The only thing you can do is the Naruto run, and that's it. And that's not going to help you much, but it should be something that should be pre-calculated prior to that. I mean, it does show a lot of support and curiosity, and 2 million people signing up for this event was quite a beautiful thing. Bob Lazar's army is growing in size, okay, because basically it's one man against many, okay, which is the non-believers and US military. His army around the world is nothing more but growing in numbers because of the curiosity behind the Zetas. And this video, hopefully you will spread it around, mention it to a few people, to your friends. I would much appreciate it, because really I need you to jump on this train so we can get to the truth about Zeta Reticulines. We had enough. I don't know about you, but I had. I'm sick and tired of seeing this people post on UFO groups, the same thing over and over about Zetas, and they all look different shapes, and just to get likes and so forth. But really, it's not about that. I mean, we want to know a little bit about the truth, not just about fake CGI aliens, but real ones too, So some of us do want to know the truth. And that's the reason why I encourage you to jump on this train, to subscribe to my channel so you can get notified, hit that bell so you can get some notification about what's happening here, okay? Really, is this movement of some sort that already happened with Area 51, but I told you the difference here, okay? We're not going to go against US military and show up at their doors. That's the last thing you want to do. What we want to do, it's a little bit more realistic, I hope. for the lack of the better word, is to have people perhaps that work at S4, that work at Area 51, that perhaps no longer work there anymore, and it's just a thing in the past, that perhaps want to share a little bit, some information with us, okay? The truth, people, really, it's not out there, believe me. Yes, there is. Of course, aliens exist in outer space, but the truth is really here on Earth. Because, like I told you, there's people who worked at S4 and Area 51, and where are they now? There's people that work at S4 that know a lot more about what Bob Lazar knows. Way more, okay? People that worked in direct communication with them, of course, they know everything about them, probably. And really, where is that technology that Bob Lazar talked about? I mean, we're sleeping here at night knowing that these 9 UFOs are here on Earth somewhere. Heck, it keeps you awake once in a while when you think about that. But the military really doesn't want to share anything with us, and that's what the problem is. So we're hoping that perhaps some of these people that work at S4, think perhaps it's time to let some of this information out, and probably already did. And that's why we saw Raid Area 51. And like I told you, this is going to be in reverse. Hopefully, I'm saying, of course, I don't expect, I'm just saying maybe they will come forward, okay? All we can do is be polite about it, be patient about it. Don't ask too many questions. Let just this video exist out there on YouTube and let it hover there. Let it meditate and let it bake, okay? And slowly it might get some sort of traction and it might get into the right hands. And somebody might actually comment here below. Instead of leaving a smart-ass comment, might be an actual authentic comment. Just so you know, any kind of suspicious comments go directly into my garbage can and I don't read them, okay? So please don't waste your time, okay? Your life is short, okay? And don't waste it on being a smart-ass, please. We want the real deal, okay? If you're here, then you're probably a truth seeker, and I admire that quality about you because you really are like me. I want to know the truth, and perhaps that's why you're here. And also, you might be here because you heard the interview with Joe Rogan and Bob Lazar, and you kind of want to understand where this whole thing is. Again, this whole thing is basically at the end of the wall, at the end of the story, on the end of the day, when you saw all the interviews, you'll come to a conclusion, which is very simple. Bob Lazar simply mentions that Zeta Reticuli left, but those 9 UFOs supposedly stayed behind. He never said what happened to them. And that tells you something. And we want to know where this technology is because it can make a lot of difference here for us. Simply us going around the block, which I talked about before. It's going through the block, which is, a lazy way of doing things. But hey, why wait thousands of years before we get there to understand how this UFO operate, which it's literally useless to us because we just can't replicate them. It's impossible. This technology is way too advanced. But if we can establish some sort of communication, perhaps we can learn a lot from these Zeta Reticuli, and perhaps overnight a lot of our problems here on Earth, which is basically pollution, social problems, all kinds of problems that are killing our Earth and our way of life and make our life miserable, could be solved overnight. You never know. They've been through that, we haven't. So we know they're more advanced. That means they had a head start in evolution, nothing more. But their code is very similar to us. As I told you, they look like us, 2 hands, 2 arms, 2 legs, a head, same thing, okay? They don't look like a snake, okay? That would be something else. They would belong to a snake species. But here, this Zeta Reticuli look a lot like us, except they have bigger heads. And that's pretty much all that I would like to talk about, and I probably forgot to mention many things. But the bottom line, again, let's understand why this video was created. I told you, please subscribe so we can get this channel moving towards the truth, okay? You're all with me on this train. I know I'm talking the way I'm talking, but look, I'm only interested in the Zeta Reticulines, and of course many other alien abduction with Kelvin Parker, Travis Walton, of course. But the Zeta Reticulines been circulating around the internet a lot, and it's about time we get to the bottom of this truth. I mean, we're sick and tired of this Bob Lazar story circulating without any answers here, okay? It's an interesting story for sure, but you know, we need to take a step further, and that's the reason why you want to jump on this train, simply to get to the truth of Zeta Reticuli, and hopefully somebody will come forward with this information and whereabouts. Most likely it will be people who worked at S4 or Area 51. That is no longer a project they're working on, but I highly doubt it they're not working on it anymore, because obviously those 9 UFOs are still here on Earth, and that's an ongoing project. But they did perhaps come to some sort of a wall with this 9 UFOs, and they cannot move any further. I told you why, because the technology is way too advanced to understand. So I'm gonna leave it at that, okay? We want to know where those Zeta Reticulines are, what happened to them. If somebody can come forward, we appreciate that in a nice way. You know, we are patient. We're not aggressive here. Maybe we're a little bit. We're not aggressive here. And we're just hungry for truth, okay? And if we ask politely, then perhaps we will get some answers, okay? I'm not saying that we will. Again, I told you, people, we have to be patient. This type of information is not something that the public should know, because literally they're trying to protect the Zetas, okay? And there are hunters out there that you don't want to mess with, and they know about that, okay? Because US public is easily motivated by this Zeta Reticulines, which is understandable. Who wouldn't be? And they can get all kinds of weapons available to them in states, as you already know about gun laws, as I talked about before. Let's focus on Zetas again, and where are they now? And that's all I want to know in this video. So spread this video out there to make other people aware, to get to the truth about Zeta Reticulines, you know, to start a little bit of excitement about the Zeta Reticuline story, okay? And so we don't forget about those Zetas, because it is a story that could reveal that those Zetas actually exist, and all that information, my friends, is here on Earth, okay? People out there have been in contact with Zetas, and that's what I want to talk about today, and I want to bring it up to your attention, okay? Come back to see what's going on here at Block Tornado. As you can see what's going on, we're trying to hunt for the truth, okay? This is the type of channel you might be interested in. It's not so much about entertainment, it's more about hunting for the truth. As a matter of fact, that might be entertainment to you. So that's pretty much all I want to talk about today, and thank you for staying all the way here. And don't forget to keep your eyes in the sky, like I always say, in case you see a UFO fly by. God bless.